Hello, future Bearcats. I'm here to talk to you today about Lindner Career Services Center and about all the resources and things that we can do to kind of make your time here at the University of Cincinnati, Lindner College of Business, a successful time. I know most of the students who plan to go to Lindner are here because they want to get a good job when they graduate, right? And I think that's, in general, what Lindner Career Services is going to help provide for everybody. All right. So what do employers want to see? First things that they want to see are good academics. I think it's extremely important that everybody maintains, that 3.0 minimum GPA. I think most employers are going to look at that as a kind of a minimum standard if you're going to want to apply for jobs, for whether it be internships or co-ops, which we refer to as Lindner professional experiences, which we'll learn about a little bit later on. They also want to see students who have an idea of being intentional. And what I mean by being intentional is, why did you choose your major? Why did you choose your minor? And how do those two pair together to kind of make sure that you are on the right track to be successful in the industry that you'd like to work in? So speaking of this professional experiences is, most students come in here and they see that, how am I supposed to find a job when companies are requiring 1 to 2 years of professional experience for an entry-level position? Really, for a Lindner College of Business student, there are no more excuses because we expect everyone to have at least 1 to 2 years of professional experience by the time they graduate from their 4 or 5 year program, because they're going to fill that timeline with co-ops and internships along the way. All right, so I think it's extremely important to kind of think to yourself, create a plan for yourself. How am I going to gain this valuable professional experiences? And I think Lindner Career Services is here to help you along the way. Of course, employers want a diversity in their students, not just in kind of who they are, but the things that they are doing. There's study abroad opportunities. There's different online opportunities to get involved on campus. There's so many different things you can do, and students need to really take advantage of those resources on campus. And of course, they want leadership, right? Don't think of this as, I'm going to spread myself so thin and get involved on everything on campus, right? True leadership means, really prioritizing in certain areas within your major, within the industry you want to work in, being extremely well informed about those things, and kind of taking those leadership roles on campus, whether it be with a student group or an outside organization. All right, so you can see some stats here. We've done recent surveys with a lot of our students, and it says 75% here of new hires do have career-related experience before they go into the working industry. And I think that just bodes well in confirming what I just said, in that, most students here will have about 1 to 2 years of professional experience by the time they graduate. Other things to keep aware of is that employers are still looking at, your overall profile, right? They want to see what you're like on social media, what you're like in the classroom, what you're like outside the classroom, how you're getting involved on campus, and really just what are you using your time for, making sure that you're prepared to start your full-time career. A lot of time, the deciding factors between two equally qualified candidates is, have they previously interned with the company before? Those internal referrals are extremely important. Or do you have internship experience within the industry? Okay, so yes, it might be a good idea to get any professional experience that first or second year while you're here at Lindner. But really, by the time you're a junior or senior, you should really start to hone in on that industry or that certain company that you want to work for. All right, so what does Lindner Career Services help you with, and where can we step in and make sure you're on the right track? We start with our personal branding materials, and by that I'm talking building a resume, building a LinkedIn profile, setting up a voicemail message, setting up a a signature in your email, right? How do you write a cover letter, right? How do you even respond professionally to an email from a recruiter or a hiring manager? There's a lot of different ways that students can kind of prepare themselves and brand themselves in a professional way once they get started in college, and kind of look forward to those Lindner professional experiences. Of course, we can help with personalized job search strategies. Everybody has a different idea of what it takes to be successful. And I think, there's 8 to 10 different majors here in the Lindner College of Business, but there's a lot more than 8 to 10 industries or career paths that people can take. So everybody has an individual way that they want to look for jobs or companies that they want to look for, and it really changes the way that they search for jobs. And again, we're here to help you along the way as well too. Of course, one of the 2 most important ways that you're ever going to find jobs is through networking. You hear it over and over and over again. We're going to preach it every single day that you're on campus. Networking is still the best way that you can find jobs. We're going to help you leverage not only your network here on campus, but with the alumni and the employers that we work with every single day. And of course, the other most important thing that you guys can do to find a job is interviewing well. So we can definitely help you with interview preparation and job offer negotiations when the time comes appropriate. So again, the 2 most important pieces that you can do and that you will be successful is if you network well and you can interview well. Of course, aside from our individual coaching appointments, we're meeting with students one-on-one. Lindner Career Services staff members, who we refer to ourselves as career coaches, also teach a class called Career Success Strategies. This number is BA 1080, and you would take that during your first year here as a Lindner College of Business student. Through that class, we'll discuss all of the things that we just talked about that we can help you with, along with a bunch of different other topics as well. So that's something that you'd want to work with an academic advisor to make sure that you are enrolled into BA 1080 Career Success Strategies for all first-year students. All right. So I mentioned our career coaches before. One of the great things about being a Lindner student is that each student will have their own career coach. And this is based on your major. So we are a decentralized career services office, and we only work with College of Business students. Having your own career coach is really helpful, and kind of having an industry expert that can guide you along the way. So it's important to note who your career coach is, and get to know them. Make sure that they are part of your network. We can't help you if we don't know you. So it's really important to get to know who your career coach is once you step foot on. All right. So in addition to BA 1080 Career Success Strategies, meeting with your career coach, we also send out weekly contact, right? So you will get a weekly update from career services as a whole. Typically, those get sent out every Tuesday. So, and then you will receive an individual update from your major specific career coach sometime later in the week as well too. Within these weekly email contacts, you're going to receive different job search tips. We will highlight specific jobs for specific majors and industries every single week. You'll get more information about events that are coming on campus. Almost every single day during the fall and spring semesters, there will be employers on campus to recruit students, whether that be through information sessions, branding tables, career fairs. We'll even have on-campus interviews, all different types of opportunities for students to connect and network with employers right from the start. Of course, we will be highlighting, like I said, new Lindner professional experience offerings, new full-time offerings. Again, this isn't just for interest in co-ops. Our juniors and seniors who are looking for those full-time opportunities, we're here to help along the way as well. In addition to providing information on how to schedule appointments with your individual career coach. All right, some of those events that I mentioned previously that you guys can see employers at are our award-winning event Dress to Impress. This is a great opportunity for all first-year students to kind of learn those soft skills about what it actually takes to find a job, right? What does a proper handshake look like? What do you wear to a networking session or an information session, right? How do you just have a general conversation starters, right? What does the application process look like online for recruiters and hiring? This is all questions that can be answered during our Dress to Impress event. Definitely recommend that every student marks their calendar first day on campus to make sure they attend that event. Of course, there's major specific career fairs. Just recently, we've had our Sales Expo. We've had our Marketing and E-Media Career Fair. We've had Insurance and Risk Management Career Fairs. We have a event called Meet the Firms, which is for our finance and accounting students. And that's all in addition to our larger career fair that represents all colleges and all majors across campus as well. Different case competitions be held on campus. And again, things I've mentioned previously, like our branding tables, our information sessions, and our on-campus interviews. So there's always plenty of opportunity for students to take advantage of meeting with employers, thinking about their future careers right from day one. Okay, so I've said LPE a few times throughout this session, and what LPE means is Lindner Professional Experience. So think of, when you hear the term internship, when you hear the term co-op, think Lindner Professional Experience. What does this mean, right? So one, it's eligible to show up on your transcript. So this is a class that you will take. So every time you are doing a Lindner Professional Experience, you can enroll into LPE 3000 or LPE 3001. Okay? The difference would be if it's a part-time job, I think anything that's less than 30 hours a week, you would be enrolled in the full-time classes during a part-time LPE. Again, it has to be a paid position, it has to be related to your major, where it helps advance you along into your career, and it follows along with the semester. That would be a part-time LPE where you would be enrolled into LPE 3001. For a full-time LPE, it'd be 30 or more hours a week. You would not be enrolled in classes. So you would be working full-time with the company, right? You would be placed in a class called LPE 3000. This is a full-time placeholder. So you do remain a full-time student. However, there is no fees. This is a 0 credit hour class. So you will not be paying tuition cost while you're enrolled into LPE 3000. So even if you plan to do 3 to 5 different LPE rotations through your time here at Lindner, and it might extend your graduation date, you can't think of it as, oh, I'm going to be there longer, it's going to cost me more tuition. You need to think of this as, I'm going to start my career earlier. I'm going to be making good return on my investment. I won't be paying tuition costs when I'm on LPE. I'm getting that valuable professional experience along the way, which employers crave, especially if you want a full-time job on graduation. Another thing is you can do multiple rotations. For a prime example, we have about 500 plus students who are on LPE right now during the spring semester of 2020. And a lot of their students will continue on and work in the summertime. And they'll continue, it will be called a double rotation, and they will work all the way from basically, let's say, January of 2020, and they'll continue to work until about August of 2020. So they can get 8 solid months of work experience by doing a double LPE rotation. Okay? You would enroll into LPE each different semester. So it wouldn't be just one enrollment, it would be an enrollment during spring, another enrollment during summer. I just want to provide a couple of examples about how students can fit in different LPE rotations throughout their time here at Lindner as well too. You can see Nick here is a finance and real estate major who just recently graduated in May of 2018. And this is what it looked like as he completed 5 different Lindner professional experiences throughout his time before landing a full-time job with Eagle Realty. Here's Trey, who he decided he got a bit of a late start with performing LPEs, but he was able to fit 2 LPEs in before graduating and receiving a full-time job with Great American Insurance Group. You can see Allison here, who on a similar aspect as Trey, was able to complete 3 professional experiences before graduating, all during the spring semester and taking summer classes. And then Nathan here, who did a lot of part-time LPEs, right? So he was, again, when he's doing part-time LPE, he was still a full-time student, taking at least 12 credit hours while working part-time. And he spent most of his summers working full-time with different marketing companies out there for receiving a full-time job with Red Ventures. So again, it just kind of goes to show that there's a bunch of different paths that you can take, right? So when you talk about the co-op program or the LPE program that you guys might hear about, just know this is very individualized. This is something where you can work with your career coach, work with your academic advisors to kind of fit whatever fits your schedule best. And we definitely want to make sure that you are filling your LPE needs, and we're here to help you along the way. This slide just kind of indicates a few of the companies who hire our students, right? You guys see really big names on there, like Delta and Procter & Gamble and GE, Microsoft, right? There's also some smaller names on there that you guys might not have heard of, like 8451, Our Marketing, right? So basically, anything is possible. Anything that's going to help advance your career. And no, you do not have to find your professional experience through career services or through our handshake platform or through our career fairs. Any way that you can find a professional experience is going to count as a Lindner professional experience, even if you use your own personal network or you found the job through other events, activities, or just applying online. Okay, so Handshake is a platform that we use to kind of help students and employers connect, right? Handshake, think of it as sort of LinkedIn, where you can build a profile, you can search and apply for jobs through Handshake. Employers will set up on-campus interviews through Handshake platform as well too. This is something that you guys will be very familiar with, and you'll learn more about during your pathways and during your career success strategies course. But I just wanted to put this on your radar now that we do have platforms set up to help you connect, apply for jobs, and meet with employers through interview opportunities. So be on the lookout for more information about Handshake once you arrive on campus. And of course, we need to start thinking like business majors. We need to start thinking like a business student in the fact that, okay, I'm putting on this time, I'm putting all this effort in, what kind of return on my investment am I getting by being a Lindner student, by doing LPE? And I want to make sure you guys are familiar with the numbers, right? So on this slide, you can see what the average hourly rate is for a student on LPE based on what your major is, with the overall average being about $16 an hour for a student on Lindner professional experience. With the average full-time salary upon graduation is just a shade under $52,000 a year. And one of the things I kind of want to end this presentation on, probably one of my favorite stats that have been developed over our years of kind of collecting data from our students who have been on LPE and what their placement data shows us for their full-time job. For students who have done 4 or more Lindner professional experiences over their time here at Lindner College of Business, their starting salary is $12,000 more a year than those students who have done 0 to 1 professional. So you can see by finding these professional experiences, by doing co-ops, by doing internships, by having those high grades, by getting involved on campus and holding those leadership roles, you really have an opportunity to set yourself up for success, long-term career success by what you do over the next couple of years at the Lindner College of Business. Again, thank you for your time. Make sure you get to know your career coaches. Make sure you utilize the resources on campus. And again, if we don't know you, we can help you. So good luck with your time over the summer. Good luck with your decision making. We hope to see you here at Lindner in the fall.